So how do you make more money? I was just sitting here reading some emails my team printed out that people have been asking me. This is one of the most common threads I get. How do you make more money? I was sitting here late at night before I went to bed, and I thought, there's lots of techniques you need to know to make money. So I was trying to think of some fundamentals that I wish people had taught me earlier in life. And I'll tell you this, write this down. Lead generation. If you can become a lead generation machine, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what business you want to start, you're going to increase your income. And here's why. What do I mean by lead generation? If you're new to business, this might sound foreign. It's pretty simple. At every point when you have something you want to sell, if you have a restaurant, if you're a musician, if you're an internet entrepreneur, you have two basic kinds of people you're going to work with. One's a prospect. That means they've not given you any money. They haven't purchased any of your products, but they're interested. And then you have paying customers. Now, those are the only two types of people that have the potential to increase your income, right? If you're in sales, same thing. If you're selling cars, if you're selling lemonade at a lemonade stand, if you're selling an apparel line, clothing, whatever it might be. Now, besides those two, you have the rest of the whole world. Right now, there's about 7.3 billion people on the planet. So you got 7.3 billion people floating out there doing their thing. They're not making you any money. And then you have these two types, prospects and paying customers. Now, obviously, everybody knows what a paying customer is. They're buying stuff from you. They're helping you increase your income. The in-between, so you got the 7.3 billion people, you got the paying customers. In between is this middle world. You call them prospects. And those are people who are like kind of interested, but they haven't yet purchased from you. And that is what you must focus on. How do you transition the 7.3 billion people over to paying clients? They have to come through what's called the prospect, otherwise known as the lead. Everybody thinks about paying customers, and everybody thinks about how, people always come up to you, dude, I got this idea of, like, Ollie G has this one funny video where he's like the ice cream glove he's going to sell. And he's like, I calculated how many people have hands at 7.3 billion, and I'm going to sell the glove for $15, and that's how much money he thought he would make. Well, it doesn't work out that way, because no matter how good of a product you come up with, you'll never have 100% market share. Even McDonald's, which is the biggest fast food restaurant, they only have 20% of the fast food industry market share. And that's pretty good, 20%. Shit, you get 20% of an industry, you're going to be a billionaire. But let's bring it back down to everyday world here. If you know how to take the 7.3 billion people and turn them into a prospect or a lead, you're going to get a hell of a lot more people in the paying category. And of course, the paying category is the only one that increases your income. Why do most people suck at that? Well, honestly, I have a little saying. I'm going to make it one of my t-shirts. Impatience equals poverty. Say that to yourself. Some of you might say to yourself, yeah, I'm just impatient, Tom. I'm impatient. Well, when I hear that, I hear you saying you are in love with poverty. It might be unbeknownst to you, unknowingly, but what some people try to do is walk up to 7.3 billion people and go, hey, you don't know me. Come buy what I'm selling. Well, you know what? I read an interesting psychological report that the average person needs to be talked to 7 times before they'll actually purchase. That's why McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Nike spends literally billions of dollars on marketing, because they know they have to, even those companies that are established brands, those companies know that unless you're continually touching prospects, they're not going to transition into paying customers. So when I work with people and they want to make more money, I'm like, well, how good is your prospect game? Can you transition these people who are on the fence? They're like, it's like in politics, you have these undecided people. They're not really Republican, they're not really Democrat. They don't know if they're going to vote for Hillary. They don't know if they're going to vote for Trump. That, for both political campaigns, that's the one they focus on, because they're on the border of choosing. A lot of what politicians do is the same as what you're going to have to do to make more money. They focus on that transition period. Now, let's get real practical. What can you do? I'll give you a few practical things. I was talking to one of my buddies on this not too long ago, and I thought I would add this to this video. He made a lot of money on TV and infomercials and books and all this stuff. And we were talking about this. I'm going to give you number one simple thing. If you have a website, and hopefully you have a website, ask people to give you their email address. Why? Well, I love social media. I do YouTube. I do Snapchat and Periscope and Meerkat and podcasts, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, people still use email. Now, I don't know if it'll be here for the next 100 years, but it'll be here for the next years. And you can get kicked off Instagram, you can get kicked off Snapchat, but pretty much if you have permission and you got somebody's email address, you can send an email to it, right? It's not relying on Facebook or whatever. It's pretty much relying on your ability to just send an email. So number one, and I'm assuming you have a website. Most people realize you're going to have a website if you're going to be making any money online or offline. But number one, it's amazing how many people don't gather emails. Now, step number two, be good at it. Because you ever been to somebody's website and there's got a little link on the side and it's like, enter your email, and you're like, hell no, I ain't giving an email. They're not good at it. To be good at it, the form has to look good. It has to work on the cell phone. It has to be mobile optimized, because most people are browsing the internet now on their phone. At least the majority of people are transitioning from desktop to mobile phones. It's got to have an incentive to it. And then the next step, what are we on? Number two? Number one, gather emails. Oh, number two, be good at it. And number three, know how to follow up on it. With those three things, you know, I've built businesses. I've collected many millions of email addresses. You don't have to do that many, okay? Don't let that overwhelm you. I'm just telling you, I've seen this from the beginning. When I owned nightclubs, one of the tricks back when I was starting out as an entrepreneur, how many nightclubs are good about having a website that you can gather emails. Number two, you're good at it. Like, people want to give their email because you're incentivizing them correctly. The form looks good. And then number three, following up. That was a secret to nightclubs. And I packed out my clubs more than, you know, any clubs really in the area. Not because I was such a genius, but because I understood the power of following up, and that there's always people who have heard about your nightclub but haven't really transitioned to buying. And use that email and you touch them. Like I said, that psychological research says people need to be hit 5, 6, 7 times. A lot of people are like, Tai, I saw your YouTube commercial so many times. Well, it's not me trying to annoy people. It's me understanding the psychology. And so many people come up to me and they go, Tai, I'm glad that the first time I saw your Lamborghini commercial, I was like, what is this? It was weird. You have a fight or flight response in your brain, and it kicks in with adrenaline, and it tells you, run, something new, scary, scary. But over time, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, people start going, I'm going to listen to what this guy's saying. Oh, he's telling me to read more books. Tell me the more you learn, the more you earn. Man, this is stuff I knew, but it's reminding me, and I literally, now if I walk outside, shit, 500 people a day will stop me. Literally, it's that much. If I stay out, I don't stay out that much anymore, but because, and it's not because I'm so smart, I'm showing you, this is how you increase your marketing reach, you increase your brand, you increase your income. For me, the better I've gotten at this is always equated to more income. Maybe if you somehow figure out how to fuck it up, it won't, but I don't know. I've never seen it that way. Now, one of the things, and this is what I was telling you, I was talking to Anthony, my friend, he's got this little tool, and I told him I want to be an affiliate for this. Affiliate, if you don't know what that is, that means if you buy his little product, I get a commission. Sometimes I do affiliates. Sometimes I just recommend shit for free, like my book. Sometimes I'll put a link to Amazon. I make 5 cents if you buy an Amazon book. And sometimes I'm just like, go buy it at Barnes & Noble. Affiliate income is not my main source of income. But sometimes he'll be like, dude, people are going to buy my thing anyway. If you recommend them, I'll give you a finder's fee. He built this little tool. Remember how I said you have to be good at asking for emails? Well, the hardest part now is mobile phones. One of the hardest things, because there's so many different, there's Android and iPhone, and there's different browsers, and people are using Chrome and Safari and all this stuff. So you need some tools now, because like I said, you ever been to a website and it looks sketchy? You're like, I put my email address. Well, you don't want people. You can lose thousands and thousands of emails by not doing it right, or potential emails to build your list. Remember, I built lists in the millions. You don't need to be in the millions. You can start making money at a much smaller list than millions. Obviously, millions is better than hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands or hundred thousands, but you get started where you are. My first list when I had nightclubs was probably like 10, 20,000 email addresses. And I thought that was a lot. And, you know, you can make a cool income doing fun stuff. And it's not about, look, sometimes people are like, Tai, can you guarantee me I'm going to be a millionaire? I'm like, can I guarantee you're going to be a pro athlete? Can I guarantee? No, but I can guarantee you that if you don't have this shit, you're going to underperform. You should think, sometimes you got to think about it the opposite way. People are like, Tai, you promised me if I do this stuff, I'll make $1 million. I'm like, but I promise you if you don't do it, you don't have a chance. So life has a little luck, a little fate to it, but you got to ensure the best odds for yourself by surrounding yourself with the best tools. So he has this little, all this cool stuff. I'm going to put a link. So you can click on the link. I think I'll either put it in the video or I'll put it below. And you can click on it and read about it. If you click the link, you don't have to buy it. But you can just see he's got some training stuff. And he'll show you how he built lists. And I think he's given a free bonus of like his book, which is pretty cool. I think he sold a lot of copies of that book. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Click the link and I'll let him explain. If you're skeptical, don't click the link. Sometimes people are like, I'm skeptical. I'm like, well, then don't do it. I don't give a shit. I already know how to do it. I'm doing this because, like I said, I'm reading little things that people write me. We print off these. I get at least 500 to 2,000 questions a day. This one just seemed to be a common thread. So, like I said, he's going to give you, you click the link, he'll give you some free training stuff. He'll give you his book. There's an option to buy some stuff. You know, sometimes people are like, are you trying to sell stuff? I'm not really. He's got stuff. If you want it, buy it. I buy stuff like this all the time, man. I spend so much money testing every tool possible because what's really changed life for us humans is tools, automation. This is the holy grail. So I look at every tool there is, not with a cynical eye. Cynics are always fucking broke, man. You'll see. Your most cynical friend ain't gonna make any money because all the money is made at the cutting edge. And when you do things at the cutting edge, you have to be willing to look at the cutting edge. That means it hasn't been accepted by the status quo, and your mom and dad won't pat you on the back and go, oh, this is great. By the time your mom and dad and all your friends say it's a good idea, Alan Nation used to tell me, that's how you know if you're on the cutting edge. If your neighbor thinks it's crazy, you're on the cutting edge. That's why Albert Einstein said the thing about smart people is they sound crazy to dumb people. Because by smart, Albert Einstein was ahead of the curve. Now, it doesn't mean everything that's ahead of the curve will work out. That's why you experiment. That's why I say click the little link. It's right here. Take you over Anthony's stuff. You can see what he's offering. You can make up your mind for yourself. Or you can just watch this video and take it and try it on your own. For me, I always find using tools shortens the learning curve. So, yeah, he'll teach you this little mobile, how to build an email collection system on your website. Following up, blah, 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 blah. It's cool stuff. And he was over here the other few weeks ago. And people want me to, these are the kind of people that I talk to. You know, you make war with a multitude of counselors. That's an ancient proverb that I live by. People go, well, should I listen to that person? I listen to all of them. Like Abraham Lincoln said, he learned from everybody. Sometimes it's what not to do, okay? Sometimes you look at stuff and you're like, nah. But I'm at this place now where it's just like, I test everything. You know, the link you're going to click on right here, or it might be in the description below. I clicked on that link. I look at everything, man. And I look at it with a open mind. Obviously, I don't want to get ripped off, so I examine and make my decision, but I don't get paralyzed. People are so paralyzed by inaction, so procrastination prone, that they just, every opportunity that could be big, they just leave it behind. I've never understood that. Never. You want to do big things, don't regret a lot of stuff. Don't go, well, there was this tool that could have helped me build thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds or whatever the number of email address so I could contact prospects, people who are kind of interested in what I'm doing but aren't ready to buy, and I can take them through a process of emailing them and contacting them. The next thing you know, they're buyers. You need buyers. This is key. You need buyers. Having an Instagram doesn't mean they're buying. Having a Snapchat